before I go, I'm gonna say this: in the playoffs, right now, Kawhi Leonard is the best player in basketball.
These niggas tackle, I'm bringing a pack. I'm a roller with stars and I'm smoking on platinum. Got my eye on the prize so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back.
Yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Lou. We back here with another episode for y'all. You already know what it is. We back with the basketball talks now.
Round two.
Congratulations to LA Clippers.
Future Juice wrong.
Apparently, Future Juice he was drunk before he came back, and he told me the wrong pick. So, yeah. Shout out Luka though.
For real.
He did everything he could, man. Kristaps, leave. That's all I gotta say. And get that
Luka
man.
averaged 36, 11 and 8.
Get that man some help. But hey, we're here to talk about round two. Now, some game ones have started. Bucks and Nets and the Sixers and Hawks. Both really good games. Really both. I guess they're both going to be a really good series. I guess. I thought it was going to be a series, but I guess they're both going to be really good series. And then in the West, we got Clippers and Jazz, and then we got. Oh, mind you, that's a real debate. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if that series is real low scoring. Shout out defense. But and then you got the Suns and the Nuggets. It's gonna be good. I saw something. I said this is gonna be the first finals since 2010, I believe it was, without Steph and LeBron, and it's the first finals since 1999 without the Lakers, Heat, Warriors, or Spurs in it. So looking real different. So it's gonna be a good one.
New market teams.
Yeah, we can't wait to see. But we're gonna talk about the East first. The two games that have played already.
Yes, we are.
It's the Hawks and Sixers. We're gonna start with them. Before the series, I originally had Sixers in 5, so they lost yesterday. It was looking pretty bad until the end. Until the end, when they started showing some life, started coming back. But the whole game, it was looking real bad. Trae Young was looking like he was playing the Knicks out there. That's tough. But I knew they were going to get a game. Embiid, he did everything he could, looking like MVP Embiid.
Yep.
Danny Green. Danny Green, you stink. I just want you to know that. You're probably never even going to ever come across this video, but you stink. So that's one reason. Ben Simmons, he did whatever he had to do.
Shot 7 for 7. Only shot 7 times though.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. But Hawks, man. It's Bogdan, right?
Bogdanovich.
Man. Him, Trey, John Collins, Clint Capella, they all came to play. All
right.
I saw something after the game. They said, "Oh yeah, Hawks in 4." So I was like, "Okay, calm down. All right, chill. It's not Hawks in 4." But the Sixers do need to adjust though, because the way they play, it's either you're giving Trae Young an open lob pass or an open floater. Because that pick and roll, he going to pick and roll y'all to death if y'all keep letting him do it. Y'all came out in the second half thinking doubling was probably the best thing to do. He just passed to the open shooter, and they was just knocking him down.
Yeah.
Not really much you can do in that situation. People are hot, they're hot, you know? So, still Sixers and 1. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to adjust because the Sixers are the better. Now, there's a difference between the most talented team and the better team. Last year in the finals, the Lakers were the talented team, but the Heat were the better team. But obviously, the talented team was going to win every time. This series,
Are they?
Hawks, yes.
2004 Pistons? 2011 Mavs? Those Spurs teams were they
Okay,
really
it's
talented?
1 in 10 chance that the talented team or
1
that
in 10.
the better team.
I just named you 4 different finals in the last 20 years.
Okay, it's a 4 out of 10 chance.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10 chance that the better team wins over the talented team. But it's besides the point. The Hawks are the better team, but Sixers are a more talented team. So Sixers will win this series. I don't think they're really concerned. So yeah, Sixers and 5.
Okay. Now, I didn't watch the full game, Sixers Hawks, but I did see a little bit of it. First half was vicious. They lit them up first half. Very, very, very badly. And Embiid's playing on a slightly partially torn meniscus
Yeah.
in his knee. So that's always going to be a health issue. You know, his health has always been the big thing with how great of a big man he could be. And Ben Simmons, you know, I said he shot 7 for 7. I mean, he only shot 7 times in a playoff game. I mean, you're 6'10" point guard. I mean, they really don't have a matchup for you. I didn't see who was checking him the whole game. But I know DeAndre Hunter, he's out with a knee injury right now for at least a week. They said he'll be reevaluated. So that's a big blow. They got to start Solomon Hill, and he shot 2 for 7. So it seems like in the future games, they'll leave Solomon Hill open more because you don't want Bogdanovich getting hot, clearly from last night. You want to guard him. You want to guard Trae Young. John Collins and Clint Capella, you know, John Collins is going to get his lobs. So is Clint in the pick and roll. So it looks like Solomon Hill is going to be the X factor here on offense, at least. I know he's there for defense. He's a pretty good defender. I'm pretty sure they had him on Ben last night, but of course he shot 7 for 7. But this series is going to go down the wire, in my opinion, just because of Embiid's injury. And you brought up Danny Green. You know, he didn't have the best of game. Tyrese Maxey as well. Didn't shoot well. So this series, this is going to be interesting. In my opinion, see, I had the Knicks winning, but they didn't. They lost to the Hawks, to Ice Trae.
Same.
So I got to say, oh, man. Jesus. That game 1 was very promising. I'm going to say Sixers take it in 7.
You think this is going to 7 games?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Sixers should have noticed what they did to Anthony Davis and should have did that with Joel Embiid. Rushing him back. I mean, it's a game 1. It's not like you're down. And now he played. Now you're down. And you're at risk of him getting hurt and then going down 0-2. So what's the point? You should have sat him. Worst case scenario, you still lose. Best case, you win. But you probably would have lost without him. But you would have him 100% for game 2. Instead of you lose game 1 with him. Well, maybe not 100%, but better than what it would have been if he.
I mean, he didn't play that bad, though.
He didn't play that bad, but it's just like, who knows if I mean, anything
29 points.
anything can happen. Anything can happen. He could fall on it wrong. He land wrong. Somebody could like hit it. You know, it doesn't. Anything can happen. So why even risk it?
Interesting.
You can should have gave him like Anthony Davis, sat him game 1, sat him game 2. Because if you come back game 3, 4, 5, and 6, but you're most likely going to be 100% during those 4 games, during that 4-game stretch, you could have won all those games. Does Doc Rivers not believe that they can win without him?
Of course not. They can't.
I mean, they can, but like this Doc, that's not what I want to say. This Doc Rivers, I don't know. It's just like they should have looked at the Anthony Davis thing and went from there. It was like, okay, my star is hurt. If I lose him, we're done. They didn't. He played good. They still lost. Now he's going to play game 2, maybe at like 60%.
So what do you think he played game 1 on?
75.
And dropped 39 points.
But you could have avoided that. Game 2, he could have been like 80.
Not his fault.
And then come back game 3, you could be like 95%. But I'd rather have a 95% than a 75. But he still did. But that's the thing. He still did good though.
Rather be
But lost.
down 0-2 with 95% of Joel Embiid coming back game 3. It's too risky in the playoffs.
I would take it. I would do that because I believe that
and this is why he's not a head coach, y'all. Okay.
Nah, I'm not risking my star to get injured long term. I'm not risking that. I can't risk it.
Well, I mean, he's always had injury problems. I mean, so there's nothing new. Moving on to the next series in the East is the Bucks and Nets. They play game 1.
Yeah.
And Harden, another injury. He got hurt in less than 30 seconds, well, a minute. And he had to leave the rest of the game, didn't play. But didn't seem to really matter. You know, you said the Bucks in 4?
No.
What'd you say? The Bucks in 5 out of frustration?
I said if the Bucks keep up what they're doing, it could be Bucks in 6. But I originally had Nets in 6.
Let me tell you why the Bucks aren't going to win, right? And it may not even be close. Giannis feels like he has to score. And he's not going to let the offense get into rhythm. Chris Middleton, 6 for 23.
Not consistent.
Brent Forms, 2 for 8. Drew Holiday, 7 for 19. Giannis did his thing. 6 for 24. Like I said, 16 for 24. Like I said, he's going to get his because I think the Nets are allowing it. But that's not how they're going to win the game. That's not how they're going to win. Brook Lopez, he shot really good, 8 for 11. You know, he's taller than most of the people out there. Of course, he's going to get some layups like he did. Kyrie and KD, man, those two put on a show. Joe Harris showed up as well. 19 points, 5 for 9 from downtown. Mike James put in some work off the bench, 12 points. And we saw Blake Griffin, 18 points, 14 rebounds.
Looking like old Blake.
Looking really good. Now, another X factor for the Nets, Nicholas Claxton. He only played 14 minutes, but when he was on Giannis, he was the main one able to stop him, get him some turnovers. Like I said, I seen my boy, actually, Dom2K. He posted a video on how Nicholas Claxton, a while ago, how he can help against the Embiids, the Ben Simmons, the Giannis's when playoff time comes for the Nets. And it really showed. It really showed. I think he should get a little bit more minutes. just for Giannis, of course. I mean, 14 minutes, that's good for him, I guess. I mean, I'd probably like to see 18 to 20, especially without Harden playing and Jeff Green or DeAndre Jordan playing. But the Nets, they're looking like a formidable team, of course, right now. And if they keep this up, even without Harden, I got it ending in 5. I got it ending in 5.
Dang. I mean, the take away from that game. Harden is out tonight. He's out tonight.
Right.
But I really don't think that'll matter. But the thing is, they were all shooting bad, but it was still close. So the Bucks aren't out completely. So it was just an off night. You know, they can turn it on. They'll probably be back tonight. If they don't come back tonight, they'll definitely be back at home. So I feel it'll come to them. It'll come to them. You know, the pressure of playing 3 superstars. Well, 3 of probably the best scorers of all time. It's kind of hard to do something about that. I was watching the game a couple times. Like I would peek it back and forth at the game. KD was unstoppable, bro. Like, there's no answer at all. No answer. Yeah, and Kyrie, man. Listen.
It's that third quarter they turned it on.
They turned it on. If the Bucks stay cold, well, everybody else besides Giannis, if they stay cold, Nets in 5. Yeah, like you said. But like I said, I think it's still gonna be Nets in 6. But I think they're just gonna turn it on at home.
That's fair.
Turn it on at home.
Okay.
I think the Nets are gonna win the second game, go up 2-0. I think the Bucks take 3 and 4, and then the Nets win out. I think so. I think that's how it's gonna go.
Okay. Moving to the West now. Where should we start? Phoenix.
They play tonight. They play tonight. Might as well talk about it.
Yes, they do. Yes, they now. The MVP, the Joker, beat Damian Lillard's Trailblazers in 6 games. Without Will Barton and Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr., he played good this series. Last series, Monte Morris as well. Role players, they stepped up. Now they play Chris Paul-led team. And, Chris Paul is able to hype his teammates up, get them to feel better. Like Jay Crowder, he's starting to feel it after playing horrible in the first 3 games. DeAndre Ayton, he's beast in this playoffs. After people were saying, why would they draft him over Luka or Trae Young? So now we're starting to see the real CP3 effect in the playoffs, even without CP3 playing that good.
Right.
But sadly, I think this comes to an end. I got the Nuggets winning, taking out your finals team in 6 games. Jokic does his thing again.
Oh, man.
Averaged 34 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists last series on 50, 40, 90 splits. And that was against Nurkic and Enes Kanter. Now he's playing a slower defender. Just as slow as them, actually, and DeAndre Ayton. Probably longer, though. But I don't think it matters. I don't think they can hold him. I mean, you saw Robert Covington. They had Robert Covington on him. But this comes down to one thing. How will the Nuggets guards play against Devin Booker, of course? Now, they're probably going to do what they did against Dame and put Aaron Gordon on Devin Booker. I like that. But the problem is, Dame's, 6'3", 6'4", Devin Booker's 6'6". And Aaron Gordon's 6'8". So there's not, the height got a little bit taller for Aaron Gordon. I want to see how he's going to deal with that pressure. I want to see how he's going to deal with it. guarding another formidable scorer. And Chris Paul, he's probably not 100% either. So, with that being said, what did you say?
Chris Paul had a lot of days to rest.
What, 3 days?
That's enough.
That's enough?
That's enough.
We'll see. We'll see how he plays. But like I said, I got the Nuggets with an upset since they don't have Jamal Murray and Will Barton right now. In 6, continuing Jokic's MVP run.
Let me tell you why it's Suns in 6.
Go ahead.
Dame dropped 55. Dame was crazy. The whole series. He lost.
Yeah, lost.
Not really his fault. The supporting cast didn't show up. But it's different. It's different in Phoenix. You gotta worry about Chris Paul. Nobody's going to be there to guard him. He's gonna make some. Nobody's gonna be there to guard him at that mid range. When he get to that mid range, it's up for you. Simple. Who gonna stop him? Who gonna stop him from getting to that mid range spot? Who gonna stop him?
It don't matter if you're gonna miss because his arm.
Who gonna stop him from getting to that mid range spot? Nobody.
My goodness.
And then you got Kobe Booker. That's not Devin anymore. It's not Devin. It's Kobe Booker.
I said he would get his.
You talking about Aaron Gordon? Aaron Gordon. Listen, this team defensively is better than Portland.
Yeah.
We're not gonna. They're longer than Portland. They're bigger than Portland. It's not sweet. I think Jokic's going to get his. But I think Jay Crowder can put a body on Michael Porter. I think he can do it. I think he can. I think he can rough him up. I think so. But just don't let him get hot. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
The bench. The bench is I say Cameron Payne, if he can do what he did in LA or against LA, that would be big. But hey, Suns in 6. They won't have an answer for for Kobe Booker, and Chris Paul will be 100%. They have no guards. He don't have to get swarmed by Dennis Schroeder and Alex Caruso and Wesley Matthews. He don't got to worry about getting swarmed by them anymore. Because that guard spot is weak defensively. But it is going to be a good series, though. It is going to be a good series, but Suns in 6. Suns in 6.
Yeah, one thing to note, they played 3 times this year. Nuggets won the series. Jamal Murray, he did play in all 3, and Will Barton. But Jokic, I want to say his numbers, he averaged 26, 11, and 8 on DeAndre Ayton. Shot almost 57%, too. So, we'll see. See what happens when they play. Moving on to the last series in the West. The number 1 Jazz take on the Clippers, who I thought would survive, you know. They did their thing in Game 7.
Oof.
Yeah, Luka got his, but Kawhi 10 for 15, 28 points. Shout out Kawhi, man. He's so trustworthy in Game 7s, it seems like. But, oh, man, y'all know who I'm rolling with. Clippers. Clip Town, man. LA Clippers. I started to see, they like I said last video, they finally got Kawhi and Luka. This series, I don't know who's on Mitchell. They may be able to play Pat Bev, put him back on Mike Conley, or if they like Reggie Jackson, just leave him on Mike Conley, I guess. Paul George, maybe it's Paul George's time to step up on Donovan Mitchell. Who knows? I don't know if Kawhi's gonna guard him yet.
We know what happened last time Paul George was with Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, that was what? 4 years ago? 3? 4?
Hey.
New Paul George. I think his defense has been pretty good this playoffs. Now, there are some questions in this series. Like I talked about Paul George. I think he's going to be a big key. Against the Mavericks, he averaged 24 points, 9 boards, and 6 assists. And guess who he's playing against? Joe Ingles, his playoff nemesis, everybody likes to say. So, all right, guys, we're back. Juice computer failed him. And now I'm going to continue how the Clippers are going to win the series against the Utah Jazz. I think we'll be close, though. I think it really will be close. I was going on a rant about how Paul George has to play good this series for them to be able to beat them. I think Pat Bev may get some minutes again. Luke Kennard, he actually played after game 2. I ranted on how Luke Kennard is getting paid $46 million to sit the bench this playoffs, but he actually played game 7, and he showed up, hit 3 for 5 from downtown, had 11 points. So I was happy to see him get some minutes.
Yep.
Terrence Mann, another player who played good in game 7. But now they're going against a really good Clippers team. See, they're going against Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Pick and roll. Clippers don't really have a good big man right now with Ibaka out to guard their pick and roll. So it's going to be mostly Zubac in it, and Donovan Mitchell is going to torch Zubac in a pick and roll because Zubac doesn't help at all, and Gobert is going to be waiting for the lob down there. But I feel like this series is going to be entertaining just because the previous battles I mentioned, between Joe Ingles and Paul George and Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard as well, Mike Conley versus Rondo, 2 veteran point guards of our generation. So I think this series is going to be a chess match between coaches as well. Ty Lue going against Quinn Snyder. It's going to be interesting. I still think Quinn Snyder.
Why you just said Ty Lue? I don't even know why you just said him.
I mean, Ty Lue did what he had to do game 6 and 7. If not, I would have been the head coach. I would have filled my application if he didn't. Because ain't no way I'm losing the first round if I'm Kawhi. But predictors are saying this series going to 7. And I'm agreeing with the Clippers. Winning in 7.
Before I go, I'm gonna say this. In the playoffs, right now, Kawhi Leonard is the best player in basketball. Simple. Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the playoffs right now.
Can't take him over KD.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Nah.
KD just looks more prettier. But if we're talking pure dominance, Kawhi is the best player in the playoffs right now.
Say Jokic too, based on dominance. Like I said, he shot 50, 40, 90 as a big man in a series.
Kawhi Leonard is leading everybody in field goal percentage at 61. And it was higher than that.
He had one bad shooting game against the Mavs.
Without that shooting game, he's in the 70s.
Yeah.
As a small forward. That's big
crazy.
Man type of stats.
Yeah, that is crazy. And he's shooting a lot of contested mid-ranges.
Looking like Kobe. He's looking like Kobe too. But that's besides the point. This is going to 7 games. I thought it'd go to 6. But it's going to 7 games. I think it's going to be like how it was this series. Except I think the home team will win. You know who the home team is? At game 7, you know who the home team's going to be? The Jazz. Oof. Man.
I can't bet against Kawhi in a game 7.
Man. God, playoff Mitchell. Playoff Donovan. Man, oh, man.
You only
You want to
saying that
know
because D Wade owns the Jazz now, or part owner.
that, and I want the Clippers to lose. But
Haters.
this is besides the point. You want to know why they were successful? They were successful because not shooting the three, because they were terrible shooting the three in that series. They won by getting to the paint, getting fouls, getting a little mid range on. That's how they won. But guess who's in the paint now? It's not Porzingis. It's not Boban. Who's in the paint? Who's that tall dude from the Jazz? That tall dude who be sitting in the paint. Who's that?
Or the same one who you think's trash.
He is trash, but he's defensively.
So why'd you mention him?
Because his defensive presence is annoying.
See,
he's
you
trash.
don't have the right to hype Rudy Gobert up.
He's trash. His defensive presence is like none other. I'll give him that.
Wow.
So you got tall old Rudy down there. Put your hand up. I'm sure he probably could, contest you from the mid range. I'd give the Clippers the 3. Paul George, he's not shooting the 3. He's not shooting the 3 well. I think Kawhi is really the only person shooting the 3 well. Only reason they won that game 7 yesterday, shout out Marcus Morris. He came to play. I think he had 20, 22. He came to play.
Right.
If they're not shooting 3 well, they're going to lose. They're going to lose.
Jazz are one of the best 3-point shooting teams.
That, and they got a 6-man rotation that can all be deadly. Clarkson off the bench. Jordan Clarkson. 6-man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. That's tough. Mike Conley. That's tough. Donovan Mitchell. Best player on that squad. Man, that's not Donovan Mitchell. That's Dwayne Mitchell, if you know what I'm saying. That's Dwayne. That's Dwayne Mitchell. Or Donovan Wade, however you say it. That's besides the point. Joe Ingles. This team is so good. This team is good. They're just not going to beat the Suns, but they're good. Potentially, after the Suns coming out the West, if the Suns didn't make it, I would hope the Jazz would. I would hope the Jazz would after the Suns.
Oh my God! No one's gonna watch the Utah finals.
They're a better defensive team than the Clippers, better defensive team than the Nuggets, and a better defensive team than the Suns. In the East, they're a better defensive team than the Nets. I think everybody in the playoffs is, honestly. They're a better defensive team than the Sixers. Well, the Sixers is close. But I still got the edge to the Jazz. And a better defensive team than the Hawks. And the Bucks. It's close. But out of all the teams that are still in the playoffs right now, the Jazz are the best defensive. They're going to give everybody problems. Man.
Okay.
Jazz.
We'll see.
Jazz and 7. Donovan Mitchell about to look like Dwayne Mitchell. He about to look like Dwayne Mitchell. You got
well,
Dwayne
that's
Mitchell.
the only way they'll win if he looks like him.
Oh my gosh! Imagine you got Kobe Booker and Dwayne Mitchell playing in the Western Conference Finals. Imagine.
Just to lose and 4 to the Nets in the finals. It's crazy, ain't it?
Nah.
Anyways, y'all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's go wrap up this episode, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow, it's been a while, but we're back on the football talks. You already know, man. You know, a lot's been going on low key, but we haven't talked about it because it's playoff time. Julio, I got some beef with you. I got some real beef with you.
Oh my gosh.
But we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Until then, it's your boys Juice and Lou, and we out of here. Peace.
Molly off the drug, I got purple.